Welcome to our first episode of the Black Male Podcast. I'm your host, Adrian, and today what we're going to talk about self-care. Self-care in the form of taking care of yourself, of course, and also in terms of your relationship as well as family relationships. Self-care sometimes can be a very tricky thing. It also can be something that can get us in a situation where we can either learn from or we would make other decisions that we normally wouldn't make. And when I say the word normally, I don't mean in the sense of what's standard. What I mean is a situation that we wouldn't make on a day-to-day basis. Excuse me. Self-care is a very tricky thing. Sometimes we learn the idea of what self-care is as a form of taking trips. We could, spend time by ourselves. We could read a book. We could do other things. Some people decide to take care of themselves by drinking their pain away, smoking their issues away, or just secluding themselves to a room or a situation that's not beneficial for them. If that happens to you, what you then in turn, you will become a shell of yourself. And that shell of yourself is not someone that is really taking care of themselves. It's just the idea that I am doing the best that I can at this moment. Well, what happens if you're in a situation where you're in a relationship and in which I'm sure some people have been out there have been like that, and you don't feel like you're appreciated, or you're taken advantage of, or you're taken for granted. I mean, we're all human. No one's perfect. Everybody has their flaws, But the thing is, can you understand your flaws? Can you accept your flaws? And can you move on from your flaws? When people exist, we exist with very mortal people. We have things that we do. We have ideals that come about that we're not sure that we should be doing. And it's all based on the learned behavior that we have, that we've been raised with, that our environment has produced us to have, or our own personal experiences through work, friendships, relationships, children, different things like that. How do I take care of myself? How can I learn to take care of myself? What can I do to establish myself as someone that's taking care of themselves? And it's going to look different for everybody. It's not going to be the same for everyone. Okay? What's good for me is not going to be good for you. What you do for you to make yourself feel comfortable and have that self-care, it may not work for me. I need to know that, understand that, especially in regards to relationships with friends, family, or a significant other. In that time you've built a relationship with someone, I mean, it could be anyone, a friend, a family, anybody. Okay? In that relationship, you've had time to learn that person. You've also had time where you could understand, know, and grow. And in that relationship, sometimes you will need to know who you are. And with knowing who you are, it's very important that you know why you're in the space that you're in. Okay? Now, with knowing that, I need to know what I bring to the table for myself. I need to know, how am I going to sustain myself? I need to know, what is it that I can do for myself that's going to help me know who I am? If I know that and I believe that and I'm true to that, I'll be okay. If I don't know that and I'm not true to that, I'm going to fail. And I'm going to fail in the sense of not knowing what's coming next, the next situation that comes up, how to respond to it, or am I going to react to it? And most times, we react to things. We react to situations. We react to the things that are done to us because it's all learned behavior. It's all learned behavior. Everything we do, from learning to walk, brushing our teeth, when we go to school, reading a book, driving a car, everything that we do in those instances are learned behavior. We learned it from someone. Now, what if that person that's teaching us was not secure or balanced themselves? We're learning to carry on and move forward with that same notion, that same idea, the same learning that they have, that they put on us, which could be a success or it can be a pitfall. Why do we do that? We don't know. We feel that that's the best thing for us to do. And in that moment, in that thing to do, we will think about, why did things happen to me the way that they did? Why do I continue to have the relationships that I do with people? Why is it that I'm having a bad time with everything? I haven't learned how to take care of myself. I haven't learned what's most important: life and love. I have not. I don't know that concept. You won't know that concept for a long time. You won't know that concept until you get to a certain point in your life where you're able to accept it. Now, we can get in a relationship with someone, and that doesn't necessarily mean that's the best relationship, but it's one that we have. We may have come out of a real bad situation. We may have come from horrible, meager means, growing up. And the first time we see something nice, shiny, that's different and new, we run to it. We cling to it, whether it's good for us or not. That is ours. And sometimes we will do anything to keep it. But in that moment that we do anything to keep it, we've already gone against anything that's beneficial for us. Is it healthy? No. Would it be safe? No. Would it be something that will sustain you? Definitely not. The one thing that it's going to do is it's going to put you in a situation where you're going to second guess yourself. You're going to wonder about everything that happened to you. You're going to wonder, why is this person treating me this way? You're going to wonder why things in life are behaving and going the way that it is. No one wants to have a bad life. No one wants to set out to have negative, bad things that happen to them. As humans, those things happen all the time. And in those times when things happen, then we succumb to the pressures, the norms, societal norms, or we will succumb to relationship norms. My idea, my expectation of what you should be. As a man, my idea, my expectation of a woman are X, Y, and Z. And vice versa. A woman's expectations and her ideals of a man are going to be X, Y, and Z. Or they may be A, B, C, D, E, F. Until we learn to understand where people are and understand what we are, there's no way we can care for ourselves. There's no way that we will know that. There's no way that we will be able to be the person that we're here to be. And that's be the best version of ourselves, regardless of whatever situation comes to us. A lot of times when things happen to us, we react. We don't respond to it appropriately. We react to it. And when we react to it, we say things, we do things, we think things that poison the situation, as opposed to trying to figure out a way to make it better. Time is a great asset to have during that time. It is a great asset to have during that time. If I don't have the time to think and process the things that are going on, there's no possible way that I can learn from the situation. All I'm going to do is sweep it under the rug, think that it never happened, and expect things to be differently. If those things don't turn out differently, then what happens after that? I'm not sure what to do. I'm not sure where to go. I don't know what things mean for me. Things are going to be very hard at that time. And I'm going to have the same issues. I'm going to repeat the same thing. Nothing's going to be different. If I learn to take care of who I am, that person that wakes up when I'm brushing my teeth, and I learn to take care of that person in the most respectful, appropriate way, then I myself become a better version of myself than what is being seen. Should we care how people see us? Of course, some of us care how people see us. Of course. Should we care what people think of us? We should, to an extent. To an extent, we should. But in that motion and that notion of what people think and how they feel or what they view of things, that's up to them. That's their perception. We have to stay true to ourselves. And in that staying true to ourselves, we have that wall up of self-preservation. And if we don't have that, we feel that people are going to take advantage of us. People are going to talk about us. Because we can't control that situation. We can't control what other people think or how they feel or what they do. The only thing that we can do is control ourselves. We manage to deal with the other things that we're dealing with in the most appropriate, respectful way. If you grew up in a house where there was a lot of violence, a lot of arguing, a lot of yelling, in your future, you're going to have that same thing. You don't know how to break away from that. If you meet someone that doesn't have that, or you have a friend that doesn't have that, that's going to be very distant, very hard for you. It's going to be hard for you to accept the difference, but it's also going to be hard for you to accept what's right for you. We can think and know what's right for us because it feels good, it looks good, it sounds good, but overall, it may not be good for us. It may not be the best thing for us. That's where we work against ourselves. That's where it's hard for us to know and understand why we're doing what we're doing. Because we don't know how to take care of ourselves. We haven't learned how to properly and appropriately take care of the person we see in the mirror every day. The name we sign on a piece of paper. The name that is called when someone calls our name. We haven't learned how to take care of that person. And if we learn how to take care of that person, well, sometimes that may mean I need to draw back from people that I normally associate with. I may need to draw back from friends that I normally hang with. I may need to draw back from this person that I've been with. I may need to draw back from a family member that's just bringing me bad energy. Because energy transfers. Energy is a great transfer. It can be positive. It could be negative. But it's a transfer. Okay? Very. But what I can see is, and what I can say is, with that energy transfer, what you're going to do that's going to sustain you and make you become the person that you should be. The idea that you have to live up to a certain norm or a certain thing is ridiculous. We cannot live up to unrealistic expectations. And sometimes people can have unrealistic expectations for us. Sometimes we can have unrealistic expectations for ourselves. And when we have those unrealistic expectations, it makes us do things and say things that we shouldn't. We become a shell of ourselves. We lose ourselves in who we really are. You could have worked yourself out of nothing. Out of nothing. You could have made yourself something out of nothing. And if I lose myself in that time, what happens then? What will people do? How are they going to treat me? But most importantly, how am I going to treat myself? Because I got to be accountable to myself more than anyone. Especially if you've been depended on by a child, by a family, by anything. And that's very important. What I want to know, what I want you to know is, and what I want you to have with you as a powerful piece of information is, you're more than what you display. You're more than what people call you. You're more than what you're going through. And if you don't know that, you can't possibly know how to take care of yourself. You can't possibly know that I'm better than what I am. Doesn't mean that you're bragful or boastful. That just means you know who you are. You know what you bring to the table, but you also know what is going to sustain you. It's going to be hard. Once you have that time for self-reflection, once you have that time to understand and know who you are, it's going to be hard for you to go back and be the person that people think or they remember who you are. Because transformation is a major thing. When you were a teenager, for those of you who are older, when you were a teenager, you were a little child, you went through your adolescent phase, and then you became an adult, okay? There's stages of growth. That happens to everybody. If it hasn't happened to anybody yet, it's going to happen to you eventually. While your body's changing, is your mind changing? Are your thoughts changing? Is your motives the same? Are your ideals the same? Is the way you see and navigate through life going to be the same? Do you want the same outcome that you see someone close to you have? A lot of times you'll grow up in a very bad situation, or you'll know someone that has a very bad situation, and you want to say to yourself, that ain't going to happen to me. That would never happen to me. I would never let that happen. Right? But how do we stop that from happening to us? We stop that from happening to us by saying, you're not going to talk to me like that. You're not going to treat me like that. I'm going to stand on my ground, and this is what's going to happen. As opposed to when things happening, knowing how to strategically move like a chessboard. Everything is calculated. If someone has the bad notion, a bad idea to do something wrong to you or against you, you need to have a proper way to respond to it. Sometimes you want to respond to it like it needs to be. And that can be in the form of aggression. That then too is your transitional phase. Those are things you learn. You have to protect yourself. Not just your body, but you have to protect your mind. If your mind and your body are not protected in every sense of the word or the ideal, you're going to crumble. You will crumble and become a shell of yourself. You will then make secondhand decisions that will plague you in situations, relationships, employment, anything that you do. You will not be that person. People will not want to be around you. People will have a different ideal who you are because that honeymoon phase that you had before is gone. No one will want to do or have anything to do with you. So what happens then? You start making decisions, and your thought process changes as well because it forces you into a bubble. And in that bubble, I don't know how to first take a deep breath and understand why I'm in that bubble. I can't think about that. I won't think about that. I think about who put me in that bubble. I put myself in that bubble. I put myself in that bubble because of the way I reacted to a situation rather than responding to a situation. Everyone in every way is going to take care of themselves. They're going to take care of their wants, not their needs. They're going to take care of their wants. I want to be respected. I want to be loved. I want to be appreciated. I want to be valued. I'm going to do everything that I can to make sure those things are known, understood, and respected. But if I don't take care of the other way, it's going to get looked over. My needs are very important to me. Your needs are very important to you. How do you get to that end where it's known? I stick to my ground. I stick to what I know. But I learn to elevate my thought process so that when I get to that point, I'm a better person and a better version of myself, to which people that know you, truly know you, because there'll only be like 5 people in your life that's really gonna really know who you are as a person. They're gonna know what you do. Some may know how much money you make. Some may know where you live. Some may know what you drive. But do they know you? Are you holding up a bargain to yourself to keep a certain status together, to which you're going to lose yourself because you're running on an idea that's making other people happy and not yourself? Because millionaires do it. If I get $1 million and I live in Millionaires Row, I can do good. I can do this. I can do that. Most millionaires are very lonely. It's a very lonely world. They're lonelier than people that say they're clinically depressed. They're lonely people. There's other people that want what they have. Notice I said want, not need. They want what they have because it's behind the idea that if I get that same thing, I'm going to be happy too. I'm going to be happy with what you have. I see somebody with a nice car. Oh, I want that car too. I may have car trouble that person never had. That might not be the time for me. I want that type of job because that person has that job. That job looks like it's so easy. I know I can do it. I got the qualifications for it. I might be the right person for it, but it might not be the right time to have that job. I want to have a family. With me having a family, I can set everything in place. I might not be the right person to have a family because my wants don't match my needs. My needs to sustain me because inside of me, something's not right. I haven't learned to take care of myself. I haven't learned to do the things that I need to do for myself. Every relationship that I have is horrible. I attract a certain type of people in these relationships, and no wonder why I have the same outcome. I have the same type of friends that are just like me. You should never have the same thing of the same person. Why would I? Why would I have the same type of friends? I need to have a melting pot of friends. Why? Because it's all about connection. It's all about having a deeper understanding of people. That's a version of taking care of myself. Small minds do small things. Big minds do great things. I know myself. I can take care of myself. I can do the things that I need to do. But if I don't know myself as a person, I can't possibly take care of myself in my lowest point. Because everybody has peaks and valleys. It's life. Life is a play with no rehearsal. It is. Life is a play with no rehearsal. You can't get a do-over once you do certain things. You can get a retry in a different way, but there's no do-over. I can't do something wrong today and come back and say, let me go back to yesterday and fix what was broken or fix what was misunderstood or fix what was not known or done. There's no way that that can happen. There's no way. The idea is I need to be a better version of myself. I can be a better version of myself. But that's centering yourself and knowing your needs versus your wants. That's how you take care of yourself. I need some alone time. Why do you need alone time? Because I got to center myself because I probably had a really shitty day at work. Something bad probably happened to me outside driving. I probably had a bad interaction with a friend. I probably had a real bad screaming match with my significant other. I need my time out time. I need my time to recollect myself, to make myself remember who I am. Because I got to be centered. If I'm not centered, I cannot be a better version of myself. And some people, it's going to take them longer to get to that point because first you have to accept that that's what you need. You have to accept that that is where your life is changing. You can't live life by looking at others and thinking that they got it better. Because a lot of people, they don't. It just looks like that. That some people will wish they had the simple things that you have. And a really simple thing that you have that everybody has is the need to take care of their basic things, and that's themselves. But if I don't learn how to do that, or I don't know how to do that, or I got somebody giving me bad information, or I have someone that's just gone through this bad situation and they're doing that. There's an old adage. If you're married, don't have single friends. If you got a significant other, don't have a best friend that has no one. Why? The first time you have an argument, or the first time you have a situation where you don't like and you go talk to that person because you think that person is keyed into you and they know everything about you and they'll be a good source of information because you just bogged down and you want to get that information out, they're going to give you bad advice. They're going to give you bad advice because they don't want the best for you. They need to see you in that spot. You thought you were better than me. You thought because you had a relationship and y'all go on all these trips and y'all got this, y'all got that you better than me. So of course I'm going to give you bad information. And then you feel bad that that person gave you that information. But that was their idea in the first place. That was their motive in the first place. They wanted to do that. That was their idea in the first place. But it takes us time to know and understand that that's what they were trying to do. In that moment, when we realize that, what do? How do we respond? Or do we just react to everything that happens to us? What is our motives for doing the things that we do? Get back to the added question. Who are you? Who are you? What makes you you? What separates you from anybody else? What makes you the person that you need to be? What's going to get you to be the person you need to be? What's going to establish some foundational rules and boundaries that you're going to have for the remainder of your days? And once you have those, letting those be known by your friends, your family, significant others, other things like that. What are you going to do? Who are you going to be for yourself? If you've had a bad relationship, and I've had plenty of those. One thing I know, there's never two relationships that are the same. Never two relationships that are the same. They're going to be a different person. Okay? Whether I chose or choose to be with somebody, that's the same as a person that I was just with. And that's not anybody in particular. That's just the way that it is. Case in point. You can be in a relationship with someone, they can be all bad for you, but in your idea that they met you at a place where you thought that was a plus for you. You thought that that was beneficial to your existence, and it wasn't. There are a lot of people that have kids with other people, and they're not with the people that they had the kids with. It's a natural course of life. Do you set out for that? Of course you don't. Of course you don't. Who sets out for that? Who decides to get married to get divorced? Who wants that? That's hell in itself. Who decides to start to have friends and then you have a bad interaction with that person? You're no longer friends with that person anymore. Who does that? Who wants to decide to do something like that? It's something within myself. Something within myself tells me when something happens, I react to it instead of responding to it. Sometimes I have to take the back seat. Yeah, I messed up. I messed up. I know I messed up, but I can be better. I'm going to do better. That doesn't mean go out and buy things. That doesn't mean go out and promise things. That doesn't mean go out and do things that I should not be doing. What that means is to go out and be a better version of yourself tomorrow than you are today. That's going to sustain you. That's going to take care of your mind, your body, and your spirit. Because if you're not emotionally balanced, if you don't take care of your emotions and your mind, your body will crumble. You will not be the same person that you thought you were. Because the person you think you are, and sometimes some of us do that, we elevate ourselves higher than what we are. Why do we do that? That's a survival skill. Survival skills have gotten people to be in situations where they have a lot of things. Survival skills also have put people in a situation where they regret what they've done. What's going to be it for you? What's going to make you you? What's going to allow you to be the person that you should be? Why do you think it's important? It's going to be important because one day you might be in a place by yourself where no one wants to be around you, where you have nothing to do but let your thoughts run and you second guess yourself and all the other decisions you've made because you haven't learned to take care of what's important, and that's you. You get yourself in a relationship, you can't lose who you are. You learn to be a different version of you. That's a version of self-care. So if anything were to happen in that relationship, you're not losing who you are. You don't lose anything. You may lose money, you may lose a place, but you don't lose who you are. Because if you lose who you are, you're going to start making decisions that you weren't ready to make. You're going to be in a situation that you weren't ready to face. You're going to have certain things happen to you that you were not expecting for. It doesn't mean I'm going to plan for the worst. That means I'm prepared if something happens bad. I'm loving and I'm living right now, but if something bad happens, if this thing doesn't work out how it should, how am I going to bounce back from that? What do I do in that case? Who do I become? What do I continue to be? Am I just myself? Am I just a talking head? Am I just looking at certain things happen to me? Am I just wondering if things are this way because it's God's design? A lot of these things happen because we do it to ourselves, because we haven't learned from the greatest teacher of all, our own experiences. And with our own experiences, we learn bad motives. And with those bad motives, we have bad energy. And with that bad energy, it will go to no discipline. And with that no discipline, it becomes consistent. If we become and we learn to become a better version of ourselves, we help ourselves in the future more than we know. We allow ourselves to be in a space where we are valued, respected, loved, and adored. I wonder why we get into situations that we feel like we are the victim, or where someone will say that we're the victim. And that comes from someone doing something to them that they were not prepared for. They were not ready to deal with that. So they reacted to that instead of responding in an appropriate manner. We get to that crossroad. We get to that misunderstanding. We get to, oh, that's who you are? I second guess myself. If you've been in a relationship and then you wonder when things weren't there anymore, I can't believe I did that. I can't believe I let this person do that. There's no way you would have known or thought that person was going to do that. There's no way. If you knew that, you definitely know you weren't going to be with that person. But what am I going to learn from that? Was that a learning tool? Is that what the older folks say? God was teaching you a lesson? Or was that a point where maybe I just need to go through something so I can be something more than what I am right now? I can prepare myself for the future. I can prepare myself emotionally. I can prepare myself mentally to become a better version of myself. So the people that really love me, the people that really care for me, the people that are really by me, the people that really back me, they got my back. They love me more. They respect me more. They appreciate me more. But I become a valued person to myself. If I don't value myself, no one else is going to value me. Okay? It's more than just being on a pedestal. It's more than just thinking I need to go out and buy the most luxurious car. Oh, I got money, I can do this. Sometimes the simplest things will make the most exquisite person happy. Happy. The number one thing for a man, and he'll tell you, it ain't just sex. It's a home cooked meal. You know why? Because a man has to go out and deal with life totally different than a woman. Okay? A woman's life is love. A woman's life is love. Everything is centered around that. Do you love me? I'm in love. You don't show me enough love. How could I be in love? You told me you love me. These are the words that people hear. But how do you know how to love someone else if you don't know how to love yourself? How do you know how to take care of other things if you don't know how to take care of yourself? How can I possibly be the person I need to be for the people that I'm going to affect if I don't know how to take care of myself? If I don't learn those things myself, I can't possibly be any good for anyone else. I damn sure can't be good for myself. I'm going to run into the same situations with the same people, and I'm going to have the same outcome. Okay? Two people can be great friends. They can have the same idea, same mindset, same everything. You two have two different paths. The reason why you have two different paths is your upbringing. What happened in your house is not going to happen in their house. You may have similar experiences, but life is going to throw you a curveball at one point. And then what are you going to do? Are you going to forget who you are? But you can't possibly forget who you are because you don't know who you are in the first place. You have to learn to know who you are. And that's what those experiences will teach you. And then with those experiences, you learn that what you will do, what you won't do, and what you shouldn't do. Now, if you're just apt to doing the same thing and doing what you want to do, you can blame no one for yourself for putting yourself back in that bubble. Because you'll be back in that bubble, self-inflicted, back in that bubble. You can't blame anyone but yourself. It will be you. But how do you get out of that? You have to take your time. Time is something that we don't have a lot of. I don't have enough time to sleep. I don't have enough time to eat. I don't have enough time to watch my show. I got to get up and do X, Y, and Z. And I'm running. But if I don't learn to take a step back and make some time for myself so I can know myself and I can learn to love myself, there's no way I can take care of myself. There's no way. Easy self-care tip. I'm going to go on a walk. I can clear my mind. I don't need to think about anything. I'm going to clear my mind. When you want to take care of yourself, here's a big one. The music you listen to. That will precipitate a lot of things of taking care of yourself. The TV you watch, that will do that too. Right now, we're being bogged down and poisoned with a whole bunch of stuff that's not relevant. We're forgetting who we are. We're forgetting our natural essence as people. Yourself. What do you value? What do you hold close? Because it's going to manifest itself in one way or another. In a positive thing or a negative thing. Just like anger. Anger manifests itself in pain. That's why people react the way they do when situations come up. Because I'm angry. What does angry mean? I don't know, I'm just mad. But what does mad mean? I'm not sure. Because I haven't learned what those terms mean. I haven't learned what those concepts mean. I've been taught an idea. I've been taught an idea, not a concept. I've been taught an idea, not a movement. I've been taught an idea, not what I should be doing. That's important. That's taking care of yourself. That is going to sustain you. If you cannot do that, you're going to have difficulty. You're going to have a hard time. Like I said before, no one wants to or sets out to be a horrible person. No one sets out to be a nasty person. No one sets out to have bad things happen to them. But when they happen to them, when those bad things happen to them, they react to them. I'm going to get loud. I'm going to start cussing. I'm going to start acting out. I'm going to start doing all the things that I've learned in my survival skills along my life. That's why when a lot of men get older, in their 50s and 60s, they sit back and they think, I had all this time to do all this stuff that I wish I could have done. But because I didn't know myself, I didn't accomplish 3 of them. One of the greatest gifts a man can be is a grandfather. To sit back and watch your children's children run and grow and play. For those who are grandparents, God bless you. God bless you. I bet that's one hell of a feeling. One hell of a feeling to see your child's child. And to see the joy in their face when they see you. When you get to that point, you become a grandparent. You take a step back. You see what it is that you want. You know what type of life you want to live. You have the ideals that you want certain things for your grandchildren that you probably couldn't get for your own children, but you're in a different situation. And that situation with your kids could be something that you created yourself or a situation that was created for you. But at one time or another, you had the opportunity to stop it. There's your power. I have the power to stop what happens to me. in one way or another. Then I learn to take care of myself. Because if not, the same type of people are going to come in my life, and the same type of things are going to continue to happen to me, and the same type of results are going to happen. I'm going to be mad, maybe angry. I'm going to get pissed off. I'm going to cuss. I'm not going to know what way to turn, and I'm going to be despondent to everything that has happened to me. So where do you go from there? And I'm going to leave you with this. When the situations come, and they come for everyone, and you don't learn from them, you're going to ask yourself one major thing. Not why this happened to me, but who am I because of it? If you learn who you are, and you learn what you are, and who are you to become, that's the best version of self-care that you can ever learn for yourself. For all that joined today, thank you for joining the first podcast. We'll be live again. I will upload this podcast to my YouTube page, www.youtube.com/blackmale_podcast. Okay? Until next time, I'm out. You guys be good to yourselves, but be good to one another.